I don't even know if this is, correct, but what's the right way to talk about animation?
Well, like I said, I think there's no right way.
Yeah.
I think because
End of sentence.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And
Just do not talk. Do
very
not
nice
speak.
guys talking to you. Yeah.
Do not speak about it.
Well, the first thing I think is that talk about animation not as a category separate from the story itself.
Yeah.
Because when people review a show, right, they say, well, they have the story section, the character section, the theme section, the animation section. This animation is the story. The animation is telling the story. And so they're kind of inseparable. They're not inseparable, but they're not mutually exclusive, because you can have a good story with bad animation and vice versa, but they're not mutually exclusive. And so I think for me, I just like people talking about animation and how it services the story. And if you do that, I don't care if you don't know the technical terms, if you use fluid in every sentence. I really don't care, because that stuff takes time to learn all that jargon, right? I think it's just, it's if you're able to, what was trying to be done here? Yeah. I think is the right way to talk about animation.
I have like a mini story to follow to a question, but I feel like this is one of those, something I like thinking about in terms of animation is like a lot of times you'll hear from people who are like not into the medium, or even some people who are into the medium, like, why is it animated? I mean, no, like my dad is like he's a huge nerd, but he's like an anime like hater, where he's like, we'll banter about it a lot. And he'll say, like, I love the story premises. There's so many cool ideas, but why does it have to be drawn? And I tried to use the example of like, Into the Spider-Verse, because he saw that, he loved it, like totally behind it. And I was like, Dad, could Into the Spider-Verse work in every capacity with live action? And he's like, no. I'm like, okay, so that, but with like anime. He's like, no, it's not the same. I'm like, you need to transitive property this. Like, this is like, we're trying to like first grade math this over. But I was wondering, like, I'm sometimes pretty bad at like describing this well, but like, what do you think are the inherent like benefits of why something should be animated in the medium compared to just being another live action series?
That's interesting. I've definitely met those people too.
Yeah.
And I think I even went a phase through that in the opposite sense of like, I want to, if the characters look too realistic, I went through a phase, but now I don't. But to answer your question, I think you don't need a reason. It's just, do you want it to be animated? It can be animated, because that's how art works. If you want to do it, you can do it. It's better if if you have a point, great. It should service the story, of course. Yeah. So you shouldn't just say animated because I like animation. It's like, okay, use that animation to tell the story, because if you choosing to make it animated will fundamentally change how the story is told. Yeah.
I think that's so true, especially even with something, I think the first one I think of is like Death Note, which is like very, one of the more realistically designed with like, full the proportions of people, the way everything's framed and stuff. But even when you think about a lot of the directing that goes into it, there's so much like over the top internal monologuing, the use of colors that they do for characters. I mean, I think they could kind of replicate something like that with live action, but as evident from the Netflix Death Note movie, they choose not to. So thank you. I don't know if you guys have been cursed by seeing that, but it's not good. And it's not good as like, because it's not like Death Note, it's just like bad in general. And it shows that like...
You mean the 2017 Death Note one, right?
Yeah.
I have seen that, yeah. It's pretty...
My friends took that bullet for me. I didn't they told me about it.
The worst
My one sister watched that and not the original Death Note, so I've disowned her, and she is dead to me.
Strangely enough, the Japanese live action films of Death Note were actually not that bad.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, they're pretty fun. They used the Red Hot Chili Peppers as the end credits, which is weird. It's a very strange choice, but yeah.
Kind of love that in a weird way.
Oh, the live action Death Note. My favorite part was when they were like, "What should we call ourselves?" And it's like, we should call it Kira because for some reason, but it also kind of means killer in Japanese. No, it doesn't.
Yeah, they're like, it's like these random like scene losers from Seattle being like, yeah. It's like this like
Yeah.
outcast loser and this cheerleader being
Yeah.
like, yeah, it kind of means killer in
Yeah.
Japanese. Like, no, it
Well, and
doesn't. Go home.